Hey everyone, and welcome to my chaotic mess. If you're new here, my name is Melissa, and this is the
I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. I found my way, I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day, 'cause I found my way.
end of the year reading update. So, according to Goodreads, I've read 51 books. I am 100% positive there's a couple missing, but I could not tell you which ones they are because I realized that there were some books still sitting on Goodreads marked as unread, and I had to go in and physically mark those. So I'm starting to think that some of them didn't transfer from my Kindle to the Goodreads account, which is fine. It is what it is at this point. I still reached the 50 book goal. I read 51. So next year's goal will also be 50, just because I was so close to it. I don't want to you know what I'm saying? I don't want to do it too much because I did have a big gap in this year because we moved and I took like 3 months off from reading, and I don't read as much towards the end of the year because I'm so busy anyway. And then next year we have a wedding at the end of the year, and we have, obviously Christmas is at the end of the year, and next Christmas we go home, or we go up north. So yeah, anyway, so I don't know how the reading's going to be next year because we have so many things going on towards the end of the year. So I'm going to keep it at 50 again. If I get to closer to 60 or achieve 60, then the next year we'll raise it to 60. The goal is to obviously always read more, but sometimes I just get in these funks where I just don't want to read. Anyway, you didn't come here for backstories. Maybe you did. I don't know. Ignore all the mess. This room is like, I would say 75% done. We have stuff on the walls. Not this wall back here, because the Christmas tree is staying up. The Disney tree is staying up, I should say. It's not really a Christmas tree. It's a Disney tree, and it's staying up. And I do have things to add to it during other holidays, but for the most part, I'm leaving all my Disney ornaments on it. Some of them are actually Christmas looking. Most of them are not Christmas looking. So it will be up all year. I will change the toppers. You can't see the topper, but it's the Mickey Mouse popcorn bucket. So I will change the topper out for each season, like each holiday season, whatever. But everything else will pretty much stay on there. And then I'll do some add-in things for each specific holiday. Again, not why you're here. You're here for books. So I just wanted to specify that this is not done. We are actually planning on getting rid of 2 of these things over here because I decided I wanted to keep these 2 twin beds, and we're going to make like a day bed. So that's the plan for that. Twin mattresses, I should say. I have 2 twin mattresses. You can't see them. They're off to the side here, and they're stacked on top of each other because they come in handy when people do actually come visit me. So we've decided we're going to get rid of the 2 center ones. Justin's going to build me some shelves, or we'll buy shelves or something along the line. There will be more shelves on the wall above where we're building a day bed. But so I'm not going to really do much with these shelves right now. Some of the stuff will have to get moved into the glass shelves because they are, I wouldn't want them on a hanging shelf because they're very important to me. So again, you're not here for all that, but I just figured I would specify while we're in this room and you're sitting there seeing a tree skirt, a box, and whatever else you're seeing. Oh, and I have soda. I went to McDonald's. I went to the grocery store this morning. I've been up since 6 o'clock. Well, 5:50, but 6 o'clock. And I've already went to the grocery store. I hate waking up early, by the way, but I love the fact that it's the day before Christmas. It's Christmas Eve today while I'm filming this. Normally I film this like at the end of the year, but I'm reading I'm guessing a really big book because each chapter is like 30 minutes long. You know, and I don't know, on my Kindle, in the bottom corner, you have the option to do like page number, percentage left, etc. I do minutes per chapter because when I'm sleeping at nighttime, like when I'm about to fall, like I'm getting really, really tired, I look to see how much time's left in the chapter to determine whether I'm going to start a new chapter or not, or how much time's in a chapter before I determine if I'm going to start a new chapter or not. So that's why I have it set there. And most chapters have been in the 20-30 minute range per chapter based on my reading speed. I don't read very fast. I'm dyslexic. I don't know if I've told you guys this before, probably, but I'm dyslexic, and so sometimes I have to reread things because I will read it and it won't make sense to me like at all because my mind had jumbled everything up, and so I have to go back and reread it. So I'm a very slow reader. But I know I'm not that slow because some of these books I've read in a couple hours that we're going to go through. And some of them only took me a day, some of them 2 days. This is the longest book so far. I've been reading it for 2 weeks now, and that's because I haven't had a lot of reading time. I mean, obviously I could just not watch TV and read, but my eyes have been bothering me a lot as well, and the only time I can comfortably read is at nighttime when I can take my glasses off. I have to take my glasses off to read when I'm in bed. When I'm laying down in bed reading, I have to have my glasses off, not because it's uncomfortable to lay with my glasses on, but because I can't see. These glasses, I need new prescriptions. I know I need to go to the eye doctor, and I haven't done it yet. I will. I promise. It's on my list of doctors to go see, but like the dentist, you have to have money up front for the eye doctor. So I have to wait until I have money. Anyway, now that we're 8 minutes into this video, I look really rosy. Anyway, it's a little chilly today. Well, this morning it was. It's supposed to get up to 75. Just so if you're wondering, why are you wearing a sweater? Ho, 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 I'm the realist is what it says. And that's because I had put on a t-shirt, a Christmas t-shirt this morning, walked out the door, turned around, walked right back in, and went and put the sweater on instead. Because when I left to go to the grocery store, it was 55. Which I know that that doesn't sound cold to most people. But when you live close to the ocean, you get that ocean wind, like the breeze off the ocean. No matter how far you live from it, if you live within a certain distance, you're getting that ocean breeze. So it's a little chilly. 55 is a little bit chilly. I'm not going to say it's freezing. It's a little bit chilly. We went to the zoo. I know this is turning into more of a life update, but that's okay. We'll get to the reading. We went to the zoo this past Saturday, and I was so cold. If you don't know, I need to get my rings resized. They're too big. The engagement ring part, I had lost for a whole month. And my nephew found it under the tree when we tore this whole house apart, including looking under the tree multiple times. Anyway, he found it when he was putting gifts under there when they came down to visit. And anyway, so fast forward to the zoo. It was so cold that my fingers were shriveling up, and it was like super big. I had to take it off and put it in my purse. So anyway, yeah, let's get on to the reading. That you guys don't care about anything else, I know. Anyway, if you remember, which if you aren't a big reader and you don't watch my reading videos much, probably won't know, but last year we ended the year with the Nantucket Christmas Escape 2, and I started the year with the Nantucket Christmas Escape 3, and then I read 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I finished the whole series of that book. And you have to remember, those are smaller little novels. I can usually read those in a day for sure. So, yeah. Anyway, after that, I read The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, The Nantucket Christmas Escape is by Grace Myers. All of these books, I will let you know if there's one that's an exception, but so far I'm pretty sure all of these books are free on Goodreads, because I have not Goodreads, on Kindle Unlimited, because I have Kindle Unlimited, so these are all free for me to read. Anyway, so I read The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. I'm going to tell you, the ending was good. I did like the ending. I liked that it wasn't who I thought it was going to be the whole time. But I think I was just over the Housemaid series at that point, because like the first one was good. I liked the first one. The second one was very predictable after reading the first one. And then this one was like, it wasn't as predictable. And I think maybe she read like a lot of reviews stating how the second one was just a repeat of the first one. So anyway, I'm getting distracted by things. It wasn't that great. It was good, but I wouldn't say it was better than their original. But I did like that it wasn't as predictable, because like the person, I'm not going to spoil it really, because yeah, I'm going to say anything, because if I say anything, it's definitely going to spoil it. So I'll just say it wasn't who I thought it was at the end. Anyway, after that, I read another book by Grace Myers. I really like her books. These are more of like, if you like romance but you don't want the spiciness of it, you would like Grace Myers. Hers are kind of like Hallmark movies, but in book form. They're really cute, really innocent, you know. So if you like the romance of like Hallmark movies and you don't want the spiciness that a lot of the book romance novels are these days, you would like Grace Myers, because she is like a Hallmark Christmas movie in book form. So anyway, so I read the series called The Vineyard Inn, or Vineyard. I call it Vineyard. It's Vineyard, but it's together. Isn't that Vineyard? Anyway, it's called The Vineyard Inn, and there's 6 in that one as well. So I read all of that series. The thing that confused me on the Goodreads, and this is where, nope, I changed my mind. It's not where. it's further up, another Grace Meyer series. So I read all 6 of those. Most of her books have 6 in them. Okay. And then after that, I decided to read the Blue Blood series by Melissa De La Cruz. I read the first 3 a long time ago when they first came out. And then I kind of like fell off of reading for the longest time. And so I decided to go ahead and do this series again. So I read the Blue Bloods. Then I read Masquerade, which is book 2, Revelations, The Van Allen Legacy, Misguided Angel, Lost in Time, and Gates of Paradise. So I read all of those. And then I said, you know what? Also, those are really good books. And there's a new one that came out that I saw, but it said 7.5, so maybe it's not a newer one. It's just one I never noticed before. I don't know. I'll probably read it. But anyway, then I decided I need some spicy romance in my life. So I started reading a series by Stephanie Archer. It's the Vancouver Storm book series. And the first one is Behind the Net. The second one is called The Fake Out. Third one is called The Wingman. Fifth one is called That Kind of Guy. Was it fifth? 1, 2, 3. Fourth one is That Kind of Guy. Fifth one is The Wrong Mr. Right. The sixth one is called In Your Dreams, Holden Rhodes. And then the seventh one, this one has more, I think, coming. I'm pretty sure there was another one in the series coming. Anyway, so the last one in that series so far that I've read is Finn Rhodes Forever. Good books. I love series that, you know, you start with 2 characters, but then there's all these side characters, and then in the next book, a couple of those side characters are now the main characters, and so on and so forth. And so you basically get to know every side character possible, and I just love that. So anyway, okay, so moving on, we have more Grace Myers, because, you know, after you read 7 spicy books in a row, you need a little bit of Hallmark in your life. So back to Grace Myers with the Hallmark type books, and this, I read the Blue Ridge Spark series, or Blue Ridge Spark, which is confusing because they're all called the Blue Ridge Spark, but in parentheses it says Mountain Hearts book. So I don't know. It's called the Blue Ridge Spark by Grace Myers. There's 6 in that series as well. And they're all called the Blue Ridge Spark. So you literally would have to go on and find if it says book 1, book 2, so on and so forth. And then after that, this is where it got weird. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. This is where it got weird, because I read the Blue Ridge. Oh, I know what it was. I'll tell you about it. I read 5 of the Blue Ridge Sparks at that time. We'll come back to it. There is 6 in the series, but we'll come back to it. Anyway, and then after the book 5 of Blue Ridge Sparks, I read The Heartbreak Rule by Stephanie Archer. I decided to read another one of her books because I really liked the series I read. This one, I think, was just a one-off because I didn't see anything about continuing in this series. So I'm pretty sure this was a one-off. Let me open it real quick because I rated it 4 stars. Most of the books I just rate 4 stars. There, very few have gotten 5, and very few have gotten under 4. So, yeah, it's a standalone. Okay, sorry, I had to check. And then I started reading another Grace Myers series. You can tell I really like Grace Myers. It's called The Harbor Retreat, and I read book 1, 2, 3, 4. I read all 6 of those books, and then I remembered the Blue Ridge Spark. The 6th book was coming soon, so I was reading other books until that book came out, and then I read the Blue Ridge Spark book 6, and then I went back to Stephanie Archer. I have to say, I think, wait, hold on. That's weird. Hold on 1 second. Okay, yeah, never mind. I'm sorry, I have to remember things. It's been a year since I read some of these books. Almost a year. Anyway, the next book in the Stephanie Archer series came out called Gloves Off. So I read that one. And then, I love hockey. That's all I can say about that. And so I looked up more hockey romance because the Stephanie Archer series is a hockey romance, by the way. And then I found another one by Chelsea Curto. Anyway, I started reading that series. I'm pretty sure that one has more coming because I've only read 4 of the books. There's Gloves Off, Face Off, Power Play, and Slapshot are the ones by Chelsea Curto. Anyway, so I read those 4. And then the most recent reads. Wait, why did it do that? Oh, those are the books. So we'll go back. We're going to go up some because these are the books that I read that did not, for some reason, save as read on Goodreads, which is Hat Trick by Chelsea Curto. So that was one. Then there's The Harbor Retreat, another Harbor Retreat, and another Blue Ridge Spark. So, anyway, then I did Christmas shopping, right? And I drew, was it me that drew? Maybe Justin drew. Anyway, one of us drew my younger brother's girlfriend, and she had this series one of the books of the series on her list. And so I was like, oh, I want to see what she reads because, I love to read. And so I like to see what other people read. And so I went and found the first book in the series. And this is, I don't know if it's really like what you would call the series. Maybe I can find out if it's, let me open it and see. Excuse me. If they have like a series. Oh, okay. I think it's just Dream Harbor series. Okay. So it's the Dream Harbor series. And so I read the ones that they have out so far. They have another one coming. I know this already because, it tells me what's coming at the end of the book. So anyway, this is by Lori Gilmore. And it starts off with the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. This is another one of the ones that I told you I kind of like, where it starts off with 2 main characters, then with a bunch of side characters, and then the next books are about side characters. So it starts off with the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Book 2 is the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. Book 3 is the Christmas Tree Farm. Book 4 is the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. Book 5 is the Gingerbread Bakery. And then right now, will this tell me what I'm reading right now? My books. I've never looked at it on the computer, so. Oh, I did read this. Okay. I read this book. I don't know why it didn't pop up in my goals book, but I did read this. I wouldn't even count it as a book. It's more of like a magazine article. It's called Christmas Day. It's by Michaela Davids, but I think it's just a little part from a bigger book. I'm pretty sure. Because it's called Christmas Day, a short story. It was good, but like, anyway. Yeah, that didn't pop up on my, maybe because it's a short story, it's not really a book. It's not telling me. I think it's called The Neighbor Who Stole Christmas is what I'm reading now. I'd have to go get my Kindle. Let me go get my Kindle. All right, let's get this turned on. Waking up. I just have the cheap Kindle. Like, it's an actual Kindle, but it's the paper white, but it's like an older one. I don't know. It was only like $80, something like that. How My Neighbor Stole Christmas is what it's called. So I want to actually pull that up in Goodreads so I can see how many pages it actually is. So let's see, because I'm curious. How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. It's by Megan Quinn, by the way. And I'm just curious because all the chapters are like 30 minutes long. It's only 480 pages. How far into this am I? I gotta look again, guys, because that's crazy to me that I'm 47% in. There's no way this is only... I wonder if this one is part of... Because some of them, I've noticed, I'll get to like 80% and it will start like an excerpt. Is it called an excerpt? From the next book in the series. And it's like the first 2 or 3 chapters. And if each of these is like 30 minutes long, could you imagine how long the excerpts are? Anyway, I don't know. Like, I will be honest with you. When I first started reading this one, oh, I did DNR a book. Hold on. We'll talk about the one I DNR'd real quick. It's called, I took a picture of it because I didn't think I would remember. It's called The Dead Guy Next Door by Lucy Score. I started reading it. I just could not get into it. It was so boring to me. Like, so boring. And I'm sorry if any of you guys... I love Lucy Score books, which so I would thought it would been good. I didn't care for it. Okay? I didn't care for it at all. And it is what it is. I might try reading it again. Who knows? Anyway, let's get back to How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. I almost DNR'd it after like the first chapter because it was kind of weird at first. Like, it has a narrator, usually just at the beginning. Sometimes they butt in the middle of the book, but like a lot of the characters got names of characters from the Grinch and stuff like that. So yeah, it was weird at first, but now I've gotten to, I'm on chapter 17, and I'm more into it now. Like, it's actually grown on me. So I'm trying to see how many chapters. I wonder if it'll tell you how many chapters it has. It just says 480 pages. Like, the guy's best friend is, his name's Max, and the girl's aunt in the book is Cindy, and I forget her last name, but I'm pretty sure it's like Cindy Lou something. Anyway, and then they have some neighbors that are called Martha and May. They're twin sisters. It's cute now, but like in the beginning, I was like, I don't know if I can read this. It just, oh, see, like someone here give it a 1 star. Let's read what the 1 star says. See if I, as a being on chapter 17, if I can agree with it. It says, this has got to be the dumbest, trashiest book I've read all year. And that's really saying something, considering the sheer amount of nonsense I've wadded through. It wasn't completely god-awful. I can see how some might enjoy it, but for me, no. This book didn't just miss the mark. It obliterated it and then ran over it with a bulldozer. So let's break it down why I'm tossing this into the pit of disappointment. First of all, the FMC's name is Story. What kind? I'm not going to use the curse words because you guys know I try not to curse on my channel. She says, the F kind of name is that. Normally, I'm all in for small town romance, but this one was overcrowded with too many side characters and none of them interesting enough to care about. Okay, so I will say that most of these side characters, they're not important to the story, really. You know, they're there for, you know, the main characters to have someone to talk to besides each other, but there's not really a huge backstory in them. They're not very important, but I wouldn't say it, yeah, and you don't really care about them, but I wouldn't say that that's necessarily a bad thing, because you know, you have to have some side characters. Not all of them can be like characters that you're gonna get into in the next book, right? So what, I don't know what I just did. I just couldn't keep up, and honestly I didn't give an S. So I don't see why they couldn't keep up. There's not that many of them. There's really not that many side characters that you couldn't keep up with them. And like some of them you don't need to keep up with. Like the people from the mercantile, you don't really need to know their names. From the bar, you don't need to know their name. You don't have to remember a lot of them. You know, they're just there as a, you know, like in the movies when you go to the store, and or when they go to a store and they talk to the cashier, and you're not going to remember that the cashier's name is Candy or whatever their name is by the end of the movie, because they weren't an important person, but they still had a name. I don't know. This seems kind of silly to me. And then there's the fake dating plot, which is a hot mess. The reason they fake date is so effing dumb and random. It felt like a last minute plot device to keep the book from being 50 pages long. I think I'm just now getting into that part of the book, and so far I think it does have a point to be, you know, to be there. One of the biggest issues is the book is so boring. The Christmas contest had a lot of festive moments, but sure, it dragged on for so long for no reason. Like I said, it was hard for me to get into the book, but now that I'm into it, I wouldn't call it boring. So I don't know what kind of books this person reads. This is just the first 1-star review. So, the writing, an absolute turnoff. I knew going in that Megan Quinn's writing tends to be cheesy and corny. Then why would you read something that you aren't going to like? See, right there tells me she literally read this book just so she could trash talk it. Like, there are people that I've read a book and I'm like, yeah, I'm not reading any more of their stuff because it's not very good. So let's continue. I thought it would tend to be cheesy and corny, but I thought since it was festive, it could be fun. Spoiler, no, it was just pure unfiltered trash. Now let's talk about enemies to lovers, which is supposedly a huge part of the plot. It's based on a misunderstanding from 10 years ago, and guess what? It gets resolved in 5 pages. One apology from the FMC, and suddenly they're all over each other, ripping off. I haven't gotten that far, so let me kind of yeah, okay, most of this is just more spoilers about the book, which I haven't really gotten to yet. So next 1-star review. You're lying if you like this book. A lot of 1-star reviews for this book, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's 1 star. I would probably, if it doesn't get worse, I should say, because I haven't finished. I'm only on chapter 17. But if I had to rate it at the point I'm at now, I would give it probably 3, just because it took so long to get into it. But like, so far I don't think it's that bad. I'll let you guys know in the future. Also, let me know, do you guys want me to do like monthly book updates in the future? Because I know some of y'all watch for just my yearly reading recap, and I'm just curious if you guys would like me to do monthly updates, so where I can actually discuss, because I could go and like, oh, this one didn't go on there. I read that one. Why didn't that one go on my Goodreads? I forgot. Did I read that? I did read that. Did I? You know what? I noticed that some other ones weren't on my thing as well, because I read the first and second Bridgerton books this year, and those weren't on my reading challenge list. So now I'm going through here and seeing what else. Red. There we go. Okay, no, I didn't read that. I didn't think I read that. I was like, did I read that? I changed it to red instead of all, because it has books on here that I want to read. But yeah, I read the first and second of the Bridgerton series, and I didn't see it on here. But I see it when I'm on my phone, I see that I read it. That's so weird that it's not on the Goodreads. Alright, apparently I just don't remember things very well, because apparently the Duke and I and The Viscount Who Loved Me I read last year, along with the Holly Madison book and the Britney Spears book. I'm so confused about the Sister Wives book because I feel like I read it, but it's saying that it was added to my shelf on July 11th, but it was not marked as read. So it's really confusing because a lot of the other books, that's the only book actually on my all section, because I have an all section that does not include the want to read. It's not the only. What the heck? Do you guys ever get so frustrated at things like, now I have to I don't know. I don't understand this. Anyway, maybe I didn't read the Sister Wives book, so I don't know. I need to be more diligent about my Goodreads next year, I guess. I just always assumed that it automatically updated to me. Oh, see, it's under my want to read. Anyway, that's going to be it for my reading update. Sorry it was so long, dragged out, not interesting. I really feel like if I did monthly updates, it wouldn't be so bad, because then I could kind of tell you more about the books, because while I do remember some of them, like, I've read a lot since the beginning of the year, in my opinion. I know there's some of y'all that are reading hundreds of books. But you know what? Now, I don't think I read any nonfiction books this year. So, I did start reading The Summer I Turned Pretty, but I didn't finish it. So, I didn't count it. And I didn't not finish reading it for any other reason besides the fact that I've seen the show, and it was more of a just to pass the time situation. And then I don't remember what I figured it would just be an easy read, but I didn't finish it. The show was pretty much spot on, in my opinion, as far as it goes with the book. So, I don't know. I tend to try not to read books after I've seen a show. And a lot of movies or shows, I tend to not like if I've read the book. The only exception so far to that has been Twilight. And I think it's because while the movies did irritate me in the beginning, especially Breaking Dawn Part 2, I could appreciate the cinematic view of it. So I think it helped also that I read the books and I didn't watch the movies for years after I've read the books. So that could help. I know I read Vampire Diaries and then the show came out and I was not into it at all. I eventually did watch the whole series. We're talking about years after it even went off air. And I still had a hard time getting around the characters, because the characters are nothing like they are in the book at all. And I think that what turned me off on reading books that are also movies or TV shows, obviously if I read the book first, it might be different, but I read Kiss the Girls, And then Crystal and I realized there was a movie called Kiss the Girls based on the book. The book is so much better. The movie is nothing like the book. I wouldn't even categorize it as part of the book, like being based off the book. Like I wouldn't do that. Like if I had went into that movie seeing it as not of the book, I might have enjoyed it, but because it's literally supposed to be based off the book, I got really irritated halfway through the movie because it's nothing like the book. So anyway, that's gonna be it. I can't believe that took me so long to do. This year I was not very organized when it came to this. I'm just trying to get things filmed and stuff like that. I really need to get my life back together. The move has taken so much. Like, I've honestly not felt like filming since we moved. I have content that's filmed. I just haven't I haven't edited or uploaded it. And now I'm going backwards, if that makes any sense. Like, in the future, a lot of the cleaning content you're gonna see for at least a little bit is stuff that I filmed back in September, October. So it is what it is at this point. Like, I had footage, I've already deleted it, but I had footage, like a last cleaning video from the old house, and I said, I've already started uploading moving vlogs. I'm not going to upload something from the old house. So I deleted it, but I'm not doing that anymore. Footage will be posted, whether it's all voiceover or not. Like, obviously, if it's something I'm talking about is now irrelevant, I'm not going to post about it. So anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in for my yearly reading recap. I will still do them yearly, but it'll be more of like a refresher. But I really do think I'm going to start doing monthly reading recaps, because then I feel like I can talk more about the books, what I liked about it, what I don't like about it, and give you like an honest review, rather than being like, oh yeah, I really like this book. Oh, that was a good book. That was a good book. Because I can tell you it's a good book all day, but unless I can remember why I really enjoyed the book, it doesn't really help you out much. Also, if you're crooked, I'm sorry. It's the tripod. It's so far away. I have to like literally lean and hope for the best when I drop it back. So I'm sorry if you've been crooked this whole entire time. So I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. What have you been reading? What book suggestions would you make for me to read in 2026? I would really appreciate them, especially knowing what kind of content I generally read. I love romance. Romance is my absolute favorite. I also like Frida McFadden. I don't think I've read other authors like her in a long time. I used to read a lot of James Patterson back in the day, but I haven't read any of his books in a long time. So, also, there's a book. We're gonna circle back real quick. No, you know what? We'll end it. We'll end it, and I'll talk about it later at some other point. So anyway, yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below any book suggestions that you might have. If you haven't done so already, subscribe, guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
I found my way. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day, 'cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I find my way.